Hi folks, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Ben and I'm a photographer and videographer based in North Wales. A couple of weeks ago, Andycine, they reached out to me and offered to send me the R1 RGB LED light for review. So that's exactly what this video is. This is not a paid review, and Andycine do not get to see this video before I release it. But I do get to keep the R1 video light, which is pretty sweet. Either way, if you've seen my videos before, you know that you're getting my completely unbiased opinion about this light, and I'll even be comparing it at times to this light, the Aputure ALMC. So first off, a quick little what's in the box. You will get a branded cleaning cloth, a quick little message from their customer services, one of these nice little cold shoe attachments. I love these little things. I'm actually using two of them right now on this rig. A USB Type-C charging cable, a little soft drawstring pouch, and of course the R1 RGB video light. A few little specs for you. Brightness. This thing is bright. At 0.3 meters, you're looking at 4,000 lux. At 0.5 meters, you're getting 1500 lux, and at 1 meter ish, you're getting 400 lux, and it's adjustable from 100% down to 10%. In terms of colour temperature, you can go from 2500 all the way to 7000 Kelvin, as well as, of course, 360 degrees RGB, as well as 7 different lighting effects. In here you've got a 3600 mAh battery, which is said to last over 2 hours. In my testing on, I believe, a full charge, I got around 103 minutes at 100% brightness, but I'm sure that's probably still plenty of battery life for most people. It charges through USB Type-C and can take roughly 3 hours from 0 to full. The only mounting option on this light is a 1/4-20 thread mount on the bottom, which is where your little cold shoe adapter comes into play. So that means you can either mount it on a camera, like so, or you can use any 1/4-inch thread to mount it wherever you like. These flaps do my head in. In terms of tactiles, you've got the power switch right on top, which is a slide from left to right. Your mode dial is the silver button on top, which changes from normal white light to your RGB to your effects. And then on the side we have a scroll and click command dial to cycle through and change between your options. And then this weighs around 200 grams, and for size comparison, this is a Google Pixel 2, and the light itself is around 5 inches long, 2.5 inches wide, and roughly 1/2 inch deep. And in terms of build quality, this feels solid. This could do some damage. I believe it's all aluminium construction. That's aluminum, and yeah, I would not be afraid of this taking a few knocks. And here in the UK, you can get all of that for £70. In comparison to the Aputure MC in the background there, this light is almost 4 times brighter at 100% brightness. It has a wider bicolour range. The Aputure does have 2 more lighting effects. It's got 9 of them. This has 7. This has a bigger battery by around 1/3. The Aputure was more true to its battery life quote. Aputure claim 2+ hours at 100%, and I managed 2 hours and 10 minutes. Depending on the charger that you're using, the Aputure will charge quicker, but it does have a smaller battery. One thing to note with the Andycine is this would not charge with a high voltage USB Type-C charger. I tried charging it using my iPad Pro USB Type-C charger, and it just would not do anything. But then I tried using a standard 5-volt charger with a normal USB Type-A to Type-C cable, and it charged fine. The Aputure that'll take whatever it can get, as well of course as wireless charging. The Aputure also has more mounting options. Not only does it have the standard 1/4 thread on the bottom, it also has magnets on the back, and you do get a few of these little 3M Velcro stickers. And then in general, the Aputure is a smaller light than the RC. That weighs around 128 grams and it's smaller in the hand. In terms of accessories and packaging and whatnot, there's not really any competition with Aputure. You get a really nice pouch with it, with the main compartment there for the light, as well as a rear one for any other stuff, as well as carabiner on the back. One thing I would really like to see on this light is a diffuser like the Aputure has. I very rarely use the Aputure MC without the silicone diffuser on there, and I think especially if you're filming close up, I mean, it's going to get the job done. You're going to clearly see what the light is pointing at, but it can just be a bit harsh. Having a diffuser on there can really just nicely soften out the light, let it wrap around the subject a bit more and give you a much more pleasing image. I'm sure you can probably do that yourself with a few layers of tracing paper or something, but still, having it attached, custom made for the MC, is a very nice touch. Now, something else that I noticed is, I have no idea if there's any truly accurate way of reading the RGB colour accuracy, but these two lights do not match up. For example, I like using the Aputure MC as a nice purpley hue in the background there, and when I try to set the R1 to the same RGB value as the Aputure, they do not match. In terms of the bicolour readings, they are much closer, however, but they're still not perfectly matched. So it might be worth, if you've already got one of these two lights, sticking with the same light if you really want to know they're identical, or you might just have to meter separately for each light. And then also with the RGB cycle, on the Andycine, it skips and jumps quite a bit. It's not a fully fluid flow through the whole spectrum. For example, I'm just holding down the hue right now, and you can see it jumped to red there, to yellow, and to cyan, into purple and pink. Yeah, it's just not as smooth as I would like it to be. The Aputure is a lot smoother if that's the kind of effect that you're going for, if you want that cycling effect with the RGB, which is a little bit disappointing. I don't know anything about the technology behind it, but in that regard, the Aputure wins as well. Now, I'm not really someone who's going to be using the lighting effects all too often, I don't think, but between the two, I have to say I do much prefer the Aputure ones. I think the Aputure just has far more useful effects, such as the flickering light, the TV effect, the log fire, and of the ones that these two lights share, such as the emergency services, and the paparazzi, I think the Aputure ones are far more believable. With the Andycine, it's nice that they're there, they might well come in useful for you, but for example the paparazzi, I think it's just too much. The Aputure one is a lot more believable, it's not as repetitive, it doesn't repeat as quickly. So yeah, I think for effects the Aputure wins. And then finally, one thing we haven't mentioned about the Aputure is you can hook it up to an app along with as many Aputure lights as you want, and you can control all of them from your phone. Do whatever you want with them, set them up in different groups and different areas, different colours all over the place. Yeah, go for it. Personally, I hate the app. It's not even Aputure's app, it's just a mesh networking app, and I don't know if it's just particularly on Android. I could not get to grips with it, certainly to start with. I am yet to try it on, well, it has to be iPad, I don't have an iPhone. But for me personally, that's not something I'm even really considering in this comparison. Overall then, would I recommend the Andycine R1 RGB LED light? Yeah, it's great. I really like it. In my last few videos I've actually been using this one in place of the MC in the background there. To start with, I didn't realise how bright it was, so it was a very bright purpley pink hue in the background to start with. But for £70, this is a lot of video light. Personally, I do love the Aputure lights. I'm using the 120D as well as my key light, but they are expensive. They are very expensive lights. I mean, they're worth it, but are there other options out there? I think so. So that's it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it and maybe learnt a few things. If you're interested in either of these lights, I'll leave links in the description below. These are affiliate links, so if you do make a purchase, I might get a few pennies, and every penny really does help right now. So thank you in advance. If you like this video, do give it a thumbs up, it makes a world of difference. And if you're interested in more photo videos, then do be sure to click subscribe as well. I'll have plenty more coming your way. And of course, if you've got any questions or suggestions, do leave a comment down below and I'll be sure to get back to you. Otherwise, until the next one, thank you very much for watching, be good, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video.